Hey everybody, this is Hope and this is Jen. And Jen is one of the partners on my doTERRA team. And she recently had an experience with a school doing a wellness initiative program that was super awesome. And so I asked her if she would share how that went and what she did so that we could also benefit from doing that as well. Thanks, Jen.
Thank you, Hope. So, just like a brief introduction to what I got to do. I have four kids, and my oldest three kids are in elementary school, fourth grade, first grade, and kindergarten. So, at their elementary school, I was asked by the principal to participate in a wellness initiative, a wellness day that they already had scheduled for their teachers. So that was really exciting, first of all, to get invited to that. And I was very happy to put a workshop together to share with them. So that was done actually the beginning of this month. I did that on January the 8th. And
What?
it was during a teacher work day. So like a professional
Okay.
development day for the teachers. So there was no
I think
students in
it's
school.
I think it's so cool that they already had that in place and that they were going to use a teacher workday to do that. Not all schools are that forward thinking, but I'm excited to share that I emailed my principal, the principal for my daughter's middle school, and told her about the wellness initiative that happened on the workday at your school. And the principal said, "We're in. Let's
That's
do it.
great.
What do you need? Can I put it in the newsletter? How would you find facilitators?" I said, "I'm sure there's going to be parents that would
Hmm.
facilitate and teachers if we just present the vision of a wellness initiative on a teacher day. We can do workshops."
Yeah,
So
that's
super excited.
fantastic. That's great
Yeah,
that your school is already so receptive to it. So it is
yeah.
a really cool thing about the school my kids attend. So they're in a charter school, which functions similar to a public school. It's a tuition-free school, but they're able to kind of do things that aren't necessarily, what the public schools are doing. So they can kind of take their own initiative on things, and they're already part of the Leader in Me. So the Leader in Me is like Franklin Covey's like 7 habits for successful people, and they
Okay.
gear that towards the kids. So they do a program like that for the kids. They're also like a Cambridge school, so that has to do with like what they're learning in academics and more at an advanced level. And this is a K through 8 school. So it's kindergarten through 8th grade. They had the elementary school and then the middle school on the same campus in two separate buildings. So
Okay.
the whole wellness thing was actually already part of the entire school because each grade level was focused on a different wellness initiative. Like my son this year in first grade is fire safety. No, they did bike safety, excuse me. They did bike
Mhm.
safety. So learning how to safely be on your bike and do all that stuff. And then kindergarten is fire safety. So they have a whole fire safety week, they have presentations, all that. So the principal wanted to take what they were already doing for the students and offer that wellness component to the teachers as well. So that's kind of how the whole idea
That's awesome. So
started.
what did
Mhm.
they give you? How much time did you have? How was the sign up process? And then what did you do for your presentation?
So I was actually first invited to do it. My principal, they did a coffee with the principal day, and it was mid-November. So we went and had coffee with the principal, whoever wanted to come, and she brought up that they were doing this in January. And she already knew my background, that we had a wellness business. We did massage therapy, oils, all that. So she said, "Would you like to be a part of this?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to put a workshop together." So initially, it was going to be either I could do 2 1-hour workshops or 4 30-minute workshops. They were having the wellness workshops for the teachers in the afternoon. They had like a 2 hour time block where the teachers could sign up for various workshops that they wanted to go to, whatever they were interested in. So they ended up asking me to do 4 30-minute workshops. They just changed everything to 30-minute increments. So
Okay.
I just did one topic, and I was going to teach that topic 4 times. Then they already have a sign up program that they use,
Okay.
signup.com. So they had that all put together on their end. And then they just allowed me to
Fantastic.
have, yeah, they allowed me to have access to it so that I could see how many people were signing up for my workshops so that I could prepare whatever materials that I was going to bring and have all that
Okay.
ready. So once the final numbers shook out right before the workshop, they told me that I was going to be teaching 2 30-minute workshops, but both
Okay.
of my workshops had about 10 to 12 teachers in each one. So overall, I probably presented to about 20 to 25 teachers
That's fantastic.
and staff members too. It was open to staff members
Okay.
too. Mhm.
Okay. How did the presentation go? How did you run this so that it was impactful for them? And I know you
So
got a slideshow if you can share that.
yeah, so I'll share that with you. So what was kind of really on my heart from the beginning was just a whole kind of self-care type of class, modeled after the whole reclaim your health thing that doTERRA did, with
Yeah.
everything being like really interactive, really experiential. And knowing that I only had 30 minutes, I knew it had to be quick, but I wanted each part to be interactive and impactful. So I'll share the let me share the little PowerPoint that I put together, which was basically just giving the teachers a visual to look at as I was explaining what we were doing. So do you want me just to kind of run through quickly what I did?
Yeah. When they walked in the door, what was happening?
Okay, so this was the fun part because from the moment they walked in, they were just like so like in awe and just loving it already. Because what I did was the first activity for self-care that we did was forest bathing. So everybody knows about the Shinrin-yoku blend and, you know, the whole forest bathing process and
Yeah.
all that. So I wanted to show that to the teachers. So I had the lights off in the classroom and just had natural light coming in. I had this on, they have smart boards, screens in their
Okay.
classroom. And then I just had chairs set up kind of in a like a U shape around the board. So it was very kind of
Okay.
an intimate kind of setting. So as the teachers came in, the room was already dark and it was I had the nature sounds playing. So just nature sounds
Okay.
in the background. And then I gave them all a drop of Shinrin Yoku as they came in. And I said, I just want you to quietly find a seat, start breathing this in. This is a forest bathing blend, and walk through the steps that are on the board. And so
Okay.
just kind
And
of
they sat
creating
down in
that
a
little,
circle, not in rows, but in a circle
yeah,
together,
not in rows. It was in
connected
like
to
a
you.
circle around the board and like where I was sitting too.
Awesome.
So everybody was kind of in a tight group
Yeah.
together.
Great.
So they did that. And from the beginning, just smelling that oil and just being able, you could tell they were like relaxing and, you know,
Yeah.
all that. And then I basically just did a little explanation of the forest bathing process. And if they can't actually get out into nature, this is a way that they can bring it inside using the blend, using these steps. And what I wanted to accomplish was just to show them 3 easy things that they could incorporate into their day, like in their school day, their work day, at home in the evening, you know, whether it's during their planning period or when they, you know, get a break from their kids or even with their students. So
And
we
this
did
was the
this
first one.
first. This was the first one. And then after that, I introduced myself and then I said who I was and, you know, my background and stuff. And then we went to do a little bit of self massage. So I showed them how to do some different techniques on their neck and shoulders. And we used the deep blue stick with that. So I had put all the materials on their seats before they came in. So they had a popsicle stick where they scraped off a little bit of the deep blue stick. So I
Okay.
passed that around and they scraped off a little bit of the deep blue rub or the deep blue stick. And they put it in their hands. And I just told them to work that in their hands and
Okay.
apply it. And then I gave them different techniques they could do to kind of rub their neck, their shoulders. And then I had this on the board so they could see some of the benefits of self massage. So that was fun to watch because the teachers, like, as soon as they started smelling the deep blue and feeling it and just rubbing their own shoulders, they were just like, oh my gosh. And
I
one lady
didn't
was
know I
like,
could massage myself.
yeah, well, that's what one of the ladies said. She was like, I didn't even know I could massage myself. And I was like, yeah, and it feels so good. And then the other lady with the deep blue, as soon as she had it and put it on and smelled it, she was like, oh, I have to have this. Like she was immediately like, I have to have this. And everybody loved all the things in the class, but I got a lot of really good feedback on the deep blue
On
stick
this one.
and the
Yeah.
massage. That was really impactful for a lot of people. So
So
we did
good.
that. And then the other thing I had them do was we had this, I had this up on the board, but I had them make their own Serenity bath salts like we did at the Reclaim Your
Hey.
Health event. So
Okay.
I had already prepared, so this would be quick, a plastic bag, a little plastic bag that had half a cup of Epsom salt in there, and it had a
Hmm.
label, a sticker label on the front that had my
Okay.
information and told them exactly how to use it. So what I
Okay.
had them do was just open up those bags, and I passed this bottle of Serenity around, and I said, drop 3 or 4 drops in the bag. Before you close the bag, take some deep breaths so you can
Hmm.
smell it, then close it and gently shake it to mix it up. And then I
Okay.
told them, your assignment is tonight, go home and you can either use it as a full body soak. I said, or you can just use it as a simple foot bath soak,
So,
and you're still
yeah,
going to get, a powerful
all the
experience from
benefits of the
that.
Epsom salts and the magnesium.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hmm. And then as they were doing that, I had the sleep hygiene thing on the board. So I just said, here's some ideas for, creating great sleep habits, good sleep hygiene. I said, so don't feel like you have to incorporate all these, or maybe you're already doing some of these. I said, just pick maybe 1 or 2 that you want to try to incorporate into your routine in the evening. So they had that to look at as they were kind of waiting for the Serenity to be passed around. So that was really good. And then I just shared a little bit on the soft gels and the stick. And I had the
Okay.
Serenity stick there too, just so they could pass that
Okay.
around and smell it as well. And then that was basically our time. And then, oh no, the last couple things I did was I just quickly passed around Adaptive and On Guard as
Okay.
2 other, because those are 2 other blends that I use pretty much on a daily basis. And I told them I usually use
Yeah.
them in the roller form, and I'll roll them on myself. And I just passed those around as like 2 bonus oils that they could smell. And I gave them the highlights of those, like the Adaptive
Okay.
for stress and anxiety, the On Guard for immune support. So we passed those around. And then at the very end, I
Yeah,
had
this is
this,
only 30 minutes long, so you're
yeah.
having to move quickly, but keep them. They're very engaged the whole time.
Yeah, so they're very engaged the whole
Oh,
time. And
great.
actually, more than once in both sessions that I taught, the people were like, "Oh, can this be longer? Can we stay longer?"
Can we stay
Or,
longer?
"Oh,
Yeah.
I wish this was like,
Yeah.
until the end of the day or whatever." So I was
Yeah.
getting a lot of good feedback on like them wanting to be there, them wanting to learn and know the things that I was talking about. So I created this just because the class was so quick. I just
Yep.
created this so they could have some next steps and so that I would be able to follow up with them. Because they had the sign up sheet, but before the class, I did not have full access to their contact information.
Okay.
So I didn't know the names or have any of the contact information of the people who are going to be there.
Okay.
Um, which at first I was kind of like, oh man, I wish I had their information before. But
Yeah.
then this worked out fine because I asked them as one of the first next steps just to text me their name. And
Yeah.
so it gave people that opportunity to opt in if they
Yeah.
wanted to. It wasn't
Exactly.
like me just sending out a text to everyone when not everybody gave me an approval to text them.
Hmm. Hmm.
So the people who wanted to opt in opted in. I think I had 10 or 11 people text me immediately, and I already had contact information for some of the other people that I
Awesome.
already knew. So they
Okay.
didn't text me. Then I gave them 2 wellness bundle options. So I had those QR codes there. And basically, those were just 2 link generator cards that I made.
Yep.
The first one was 100 PV, I think. The second one was 150 PV. So that way
Okay.
both had free shipping. The other one had the diffuser. And they were all of the products that we had experienced together in the class, like the
Okay.
Shinrin Yoku, the Deep Blue
Deep
Stick,
blue.
the
Yeah.
Serenity, all that. So they had the option to order those. And then the next thing I said was to schedule their wellness consult with me. And then I invited them to join us on the wellness workshop on Zoom. And that's kind of how we
Fantastic.
wrapped, that's kind of how we wrapped it up.
So you had 10 or 11 text you right away. Were you able to, did you have any enrollments? Have you been able to stay in touch with them?
Mhm. Yeah. So the exciting part after that is like, after I wrapped up both sessions and I was getting ready to leave, one of the women, I saw her in the office before I left, and she enrolled right there on her phone. So she just
Fantastic.
enrolled
Awesome.
right there. She chose the first bundle option that I put together. So that
Hmm.
was right there in her phone. All she had to do was put her information in and she was enrolled. And then that evening, I followed up with everyone that I got text messages from, and I asked them for their feedback. I said, thanks for coming. I'm really glad you enjoyed it. Please let me know, like, what was your favorite activity or takeaway? So then people were responding back to that with
Okay.
like what they liked. And then I had another enrollment that evening from one of
Awesome.
the attendees. And then I have been in contact with some of them still that have been responding to me. And I have
Good.
another woman who's wanting to enroll. So I'm still getting enrollments coming in from that. And I'm in the process of scheduling the wellness consults, unpack the box thing with the people that are
Yeah.
already enrolled. So yeah, so it's was really great.
Fantastic. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for
you're
sharing. I think
welcome.
this is such a brilliant way to really quickly help people have immersive experiences. And I love how you made the slideshow so simple and that last slide where it ties it all together and then having them opt in by like right there, just text me, here's my number so I can tell you how to use them so I can
Hmm.
check in with you. I think that is just a really brilliant way to help care for people, like
Yeah.
walk them down the path.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm really grateful for this opportunity, and I really see how that can easily, um, this type of workshop session can easily be incorporated, obviously, in any school setting, like I did, but also
Yes.
just any setting in general. You can take this to like your first responders, like your fire
Yep.
department, police department. You could take it to a corporate setting, you know,
Yep.
for a group of employees. So it could be used in all different sorts of
Lunch and
business
learns,
settings,
workshops,
lunch and
wellness.
learns. Hmm.
Yeah. Corporate wellness workshops
Yeah.
for small businesses. This is such a great, simple format to follow
Hmm.
and not expensive as far as supplies either. Epsom salts
No.
aren't very expensive. And the little plastic baggies, where did you find those?
Those I ordered on Amazon and they were like food grade
Okay.
plastic bags. And I think I got 100 in a pack and they were, I don't remember the price, but very minimal.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
cost wise, I mean, it was very minimal cost to me. It could be something that could be done where maybe the people are charged maybe $5 or $10 if that makes sense in the situation.
In the
But
context. Yeah.
this one, I just volunteered my time to the school too, because that's a part of what we have to do. We have to volunteer hours. So it
Hmm.
was all voluntary and I just provided the materials. But like I said, it wasn't very much cost to me. And plus I got the enrollments and some of the fast start bonus to kind of help cover that anyway.
Well, I thank you for sharing this. You've
You're
given me some
welcome.
inspiration to do the same thing for my school. And maybe this is something that will help others with their schools and their workplace wellness opportunities. So
Absolutely.
thanks, Jen.
You're welcome. Thank you guys.